It has been raining for the last couple of days. It's still currently raining, which has been making doing cars a little difficult and kind of put on the second back burner while digging trenches. Luckily the 32 is mostly undercover except for birds. They've done quite a good job on this one. Thank you, birdies. Not cool. Gonna clean that off, hope it doesn't have any lasting effects. It's really putting your ceramic coating to the test, Ryan. But yeah, so tonight we're just kind of stuck in the garage doing our own stuff. We're waiting on a bunch of parts. This build is getting a little kind of out of hand. Did buy a couple more things than I was intending to, but yeah. Benjamin's currently working on his 1JZ-GTE, prepping it to go into his, can I say it? I don't think they heard it. It's going into his S13, that's the dark Coca-Cola color looking thing, so he's finally getting around to it. This is the Yanni's old motor, aka C33 Laurel, whatever, however you want to say it. Benjamin, how do you say it? Yanni. It's a Yanni? Yes. Alright, we'll call it the Yanni. Yeah, so he's prepping up a fairly stock looking, oh, it is completely stock, isn't it? Yeah. But yeah, very reliable VVTi 1J. So yeah, he's screwing around with that one, and I am screwing around with the recently painted 1J, which is looking pretty. We put that little extra bit of blue on the block, just to give it a bit of that gradient accent. Looks quite nice. And I got my gaskets over tonight, so I can get around to putting on my manifold. I told you this is getting a little out of hand. We're waiting on, what else were we waiting on? We're waiting on the exhaust manifold gaskets from Golby's. Timing gear, so we've got a HKS timing kit coming for it, which is also purple. Woo! Don't throw something at me. What? Nothing. What else we got? We got front main, rear main seal, cam. We got a new idler tension pulley, 2-wire IAC upgrade. So the original J's have these bigger, bulky looking IAC valves, which are these dudes. On my original J, I done a blocking plate and got rid of all this, but it resulted in a not optimal idle. I didn't mind it, but for instance, my car idles at 600 RPM when I first started, and I have to stay on the accelerator just a little. I don't mind it because it's a J. It has all the torque in the world, doesn't stall. I don't have dramas drifting it, but if I'm going to street this as well, and have it as a nice kind of reliable kind of car to drive, then that would be really good to do, as well as for tuning and all the other kind of stuff. Anyway, we'll move on. So we got a whole new water pump front end, the whole back assembly, everything, because you guys saw in the previous one, it is rooted. I'm gonna do a video where we just bust this open and see exactly how much crap is in this later, but I'll do that when I get a chance, not right now. Yeah. Oh yeah, we got a fuel rail coming. We got the Yaris core pack kit from Golby's as well, so that's coming, which is good. Yes, the ignition for that's going to be really good. Say again?
A good price at the moment?
Yeah, they are. They're actually a really good price at the moment. I think they're doing a clearance sale on the Yaris core packs because they've moved up to the R35 core pack conversion kits for J's. So if you want to get a fairly good ignition system set up and you don't want to spend $1 million and you're also not going for crazy high horsepower, I'd recommend using the Yaris core packs. They're pretty good. But yeah, hit up Golby's website. Yeah, no, they do great stuff, and they do a lot of genuine Toyota stuff as well. Idle air control valve, yep, from Fueltech. We've got a HKS timing kit for non-VVTi. Genuine Toyota water pump kits, the ignition coil kits, GRP engineering, exhaust manifold gasket, air conditioning delete brackets, drive belt, and idler pulley to suit 1 and 2Js. Now these are made in-house, I'm pretty sure, at Golby's, or they sell them, they're trademarked to Golby's. I got one of these probably 6 years ago for my first JZ conversion, and it was a lifesaver. They give you the belt that you need for it as well to delete your air conditioning, which is great because, have a look at Ben's motor. It's definitely not the same size belt that you've got to use, so this guy here, gone, finite. So they give you the belt to replace to get all this running and happy. And the bracket just comes out like a triangle with a little pulley on it. So that's the first step to a bunch of the new order parts that are coming in for this that's getting, again, out of hand. The next set of ordering I have to look at getting a manifold, a turbo, an ECU, injectors, and after that, probably the third set of ordering, because that's a big order, that one. That's a lot of moolah. Third and final order on top of that will probably be lightened flywheel, decent clutch, and pressure plate, and the gearbox itself. So I gotta buy, well, I don't got to buy, but I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna get a brand new R154 from a JZX 100. I have a friend that sells them, and I know he's got remote shift ones. Just depends if I can get it before he's sold out. We'll see. If I can't get this one, then I'll do a CD09 or something. Who cares? Gearbox is the least of the concerns right now. Let's just get everything here all done up. I will say though, before I go on to other topics, I'm not going to paint the valve covers. I have decided that the previous guy that I bought the motor off was a little too enthusiastic and went at this with a, I'm going to say more of a grinder than a wire brush. I know he used a wire brush, I watched him do it, but it's pretty bad. So all that is all pitting and very rough surface, and it'll probably look like crap if I cover it in this kind of paint. So I'm probably just going to get some like primer filler, go over it, sand it down a couple of times, get it all nice and prepped and smooth again, and then likely give it to Dane at Loco Customs and get him to do the same purple that I have on my roll cage, which is very similar to this, but it's a more professional paint, and it's like a 2-pack and very glossy and a lot more scratch resistant. Whereas if I use this, I can't guarantee this is not going to get scratched and just chip off and stuff.
How much of a bad time I was about to have?
Much of a bad time you're about to have. Oh, try not to sit on something.
That's not doing its job.
Well, so you did not loosen that. That was just as is.
I just noticed that.
Oh.
I mean, look how close I was to
The Yanni was driving like that?
I was gonna bust a rate.
Damn, Daniel! What we're doing at the moment is we're getting out those 3 stripped and snapped off bolts that are in this sump. What you're going to get is a hole punch and a hammer. Get yourself a adjustable spanner, drill bit, and maybe a torch. You might need a torch. And yes, a la extraction tool. As you can see here, we still have one currently on it. Alright, so this little dude here is like pretty much the same as a punch, only it's got little like razor blades on the side of it to grab it, and it's square, it's not rounded. So it'll grab onto the snapped off bolt once it's punched in, and it'll naturally just turn it. First thing we're going to do, put a little hole punch dead center of this strip bolt. And what this does is it gives the drill piece a bit of a guide to go off, so you're not obviously drilling like this all over the place, because the last thing you want to do is to have it slip off the center of the bolt and then go into the side and just go straight through the thread and through your actual sump, so not a good thing. Line this up, make sure it's straight. So because this is a small drill bit, you don't want to put too much pressure on this, and you don't want to go too fast to get it too hot. You want to let the drill piece do the work and just make sure you have a good, nice, sharp drill piece. Again, scoop out all my little frizzy bits. Yeah, we're good. It's because I'm left-handed. Everything I do is backwards. Look at that. Oh, that silicone is what caused that one to probably crack.
Get the other one. Get the last one.
There is my there's my 3 broken bolts out of my sump. So now I can put normal bolts back into it.
How's that even possible? Don't look in cylinder 3 level.
Tell me.
Yeah, get your camera, because it's
Ready to film it.
like this one too.
Alright.
Gather around everybody.
We're just pulling the J's down, and Ben wants to show you something.
This was essentially a crate motor for when I originally picked it up to put it in the car, so I've never pulled it down before. It got put in the Laurel and done 12, 13 events.
Yeah, you've done quite a lot of drift events.
Sticky out in cylinder 3.
Cylinder 3.
Oh, sorry, that'd be 4 from the back there.
Holy Christ.
How does that even happen? What is it? How did it get there? How is my motor not broken from doing multiple events?
For anybody, oh no, look at
Is
it.
someone not like me? How did that even get in my intake? Is it from Japan? Is it a
that's what-
Japanese rock?
That's what no.
On the way into
This is
the
what
motor.
your normal intake should look like. So you can see you got your little, to show you guys what you should be looking at here. So you get your valves in there. So they're just like little umbrella things, little metal umbrella things with plugs on the bottom. Now they should all look like that. See this one? Here's your valve. So when your valve stem seals leak, you'll the gap between the head and the valve stem seal plug looking things here. That means it's not completely sealing, and you will get blow black.
Good.
However, this one has a rock. I'm interested to see what your valve's gonna look like, Benjamin.
I'm interested to know how that
Maybe it's a
happened.
meteorite.
Maybe JZ took a big dump inside itself. I don't know.
Have you ever ran this with no pod?
No plug? No, I wouldn't have run without a pod. Not even at Matsuris or nothing. I've always had an air filter on it.
Have you checked inside your intake? Just in case?
No scoring or damage or... Frick, I'm glad it didn't go in the motor. Is it like rock solid
It's
again?
pushed in.
Oh yeah, no, she's not... This thing we've been running so poor on that cylinder.
Oh, that's probably what your blow by was.
I honestly
good
don't
thing you
even
pulled it down and
know,
checked.
man. The hell? Why do we find this dumb shit?
Now the spectacle with Ben is over, and it's gonna start raining really heavy again, so I might have to put music to this, but I'm gonna throw this together now, get the gaskets on, and get this manifold on. They usually say not to bother putting silicone on your intake side, but I'm doing it because the plenum has a slight warp to it, and if I run high amounts of boost for extended periods of time just drifting this thing, I don't want to have any dramas, so it's better to be safe than sorry. I've only put a thin layer on it, just enough to kind of blacken the surface.
They do change your hookup position though for your intake. It's going to really have you shooting out the side there. Oh, then point this way.
Yep. It's gonna be interesting. Apparently that's for JZ. That is it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you next time.